Hi everyone, it's me, Alli. It's been a while since I posted my previous video of Baldur's Gate 3. I continue playing the game, but it was too easy. As I continued the campaign, I realized the difficulty of this game comes from not knowing what you're going to encounter, and properly learning the game. But I already learned how the encounters work and what enemies I'll be facing. What can I do? Oh, tactician difficulty. That could be fun too. Play?
What? No. Wait.
Yeah. After thinking about it for many hours, I decided to actually give it a try. Honor mode, where enemies are very tanky and get extra passives, where the bosses get a legendary action and you only have one chance. If you screw up, you will have to restart everything, or continue as a Dishonored adventure. You'll now see my playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 in Honor mode, something that actually gave me anxiety, the good one. That same feeling I had when I played Elden Ring for the first time and I didn't know what to expect. Now join me in this journey to see if I'll actually be able to beat this challenge. Also, as an extra, I'll be giving you some small tips and boss tricks I learned that you could use if you ever want to play in Honor mode. Now, where do we start? Well, in character creation. It's very important to use arrays that can synergize well with your class. A Kitianki monk, a Tiefling paladin, a barbarian orc, a rogue halfling, a mage gnome. These are just some examples. But at the end, these are only recommendations. So first choose your class and then choose your race. Usually it's better to choose powerful classes that you can't pick in the early game, or that aren't given to you until you get a certain companion. So rangers, strength monks, druids, and paladins of vengeance should be the options that you should get for your character. It looks like the best option to use for this mode is the paladin. It can endure enough with the heavy armor, it can deal a lot of damage with some spells, and it has enough charisma to be able to persuade or intimidate some encounters. You remember when I really didn't want to use ugly characters?
Oh my goodness!
Well, I had to swallow my pride and become a half-orc because of his passive of not dying if I take lethal damage. So now, I'm going to be Alli the Paladin half-orc.
Nice.
Let's do this. There are some small things you should consider getting in the tutorial. I'll be using some footage of my Dark Urge Kitianki monk and other playthroughs because at the beginning I didn't record my gameplay. I did most of what I usually do in all my playthroughs. I freed Brainy to get it as a summon, I freed Shadowheart from the pod, and used her to steal the sword from the commander's soul. When I finally get to the beach, usually you need to evade these brains of the Nautiloid. These enemies are very dangerous, so instead, jump over here and use this path to get more companions, and finally return to kill all the brains by making a surprise attack. With these enemies, you either persuade them or just drop the huge rock on top of them.
That was easy.
The encounter in front of Emerald Grove is really simple and straightforward. Just make sure that Will doesn't kill himself by jumping in the middle of everyone, or you lose a potential good companion. I also bought some armor and continued to the Blighted Beach. Blighted Beach has many goblins that can be a problem, but you can just turn yourself into a drow and skip most fights to get all the XP. Just be careful with these goblins in particular. You can use authority or charisma to convince them to leave. But there was a glitch that triggered a battle even when you already convinced them to leave. This solution, just send one character to talk to them, and the glitch won't happen. Unfortunately, I didn't know about this, so I had to fight my way out of it. Now, this is the map of Act 1, or the first part of Act 1. What I did is choose which encounters could be the easiest to get XP, get all companions, get good weapons that are quick to obtain, and finally defeat or encounter everything in the map. So it's time for a montage of me breezing through dialogue experience and some simple battles that are at the beginning. Get all the XP from the goblins in the Blighted Village, then battle against the skeletons inside that dungeon, just be careful with the traps. And finally, getting Withers so he can go to the camp. He is really important so I can change the classes of some of my companions. Then kill the goblins that are in a cave near the Emerald Grove, get the XP of the small goblin outpost, kill the sleeping bugbear, recruit Scratch to my camp, go to Walking Rest and save the Duke. Using Will is a good choice here to get extra inspiration. Actually, Will is very underrated, but his Warlock spells and inspiration points can be very handy, because every time you do something good, he gets inspiration. Kill some hyenas that are about to explode, just be careful because there are some gnolls that are up in the road and can turn the encounter into a nightmare if you're not prepared. Everything culminated when I finally got level 4. Now that the easy parts are out of the way, it's time to get into the tricky and difficult encounters. First, kill the paladins that are hunting Karlach. Take them one by one and make sure to bring her to have her vengeance. Now, I kill the gnolls near Walking Rest, and the gnoll leader with the rest of the pack. Many people don't know this, but you can let the leader see you at the beginning of the encounter and use authority with him to make him a temporary ally. Make sure he takes a lot of damage, and help him a bit to kill some enemies. And just like that, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Time for the Goblin Camp. Here I got 3 permanent buffs. The Mark of the Absolute, because you get extra dialogue and extra bonuses with some weapons if you have the Mark of the Absolute, so try to give it to everyone. I then got hit really hard by this guy, so I got the Lobayatar buff.
Don't wear him out entirely, priest. I might have use for him yet. Not the worst technique, priest. Good wrist movement, lots of enthusiasm.
And finally save Bolo from the Goblin Camp, so I can get Bolo's eye. Then, time to kill the Harpies and save the Kid Tiefling so I can get the mission from Mole later. I went back to eliminate all the spiders in Blighted Village, but not the matriarch. I actually got a bug from Lae'zel where she walked a lot and got spotted by the matriarch. So she died and I had to revive her. I didn't feel ready, so instead I went to face the Woodwood from the swamp, and with some Barrelmancy they were easily defeated. I now confront Kaga and the druids. I was able to convince her to not be an enemy, so the battle was really easy. Right now we all have the Mark of the Absolute, so we can kill Priest Gut. And we even killed her bodyguard. I really wanted to get level 5 and kill the matriarch so I could get my huge power spike. You'll soon see what I mean. A bit out of options, I decided to take the high risk of talking to the Githyanki. I was lucky to be able to convince them and get easy XP without combat. And be extra careful, there's a chance of not convincing the Githyanki and they'll instantly attack you. Just make sure that Lae'zel has good charisma, because she is the one that is going to make the deception check. Even after all that, I wasn't level 5. So fuck it, I decided to finally face the matriarch at level 4. I was being dumb because there were many goblins in the goblin camp I could easily kill for the extra XP I needed. Either way, I was very patient to destroy all the spiders. It took me too much time, but it was finally a 4 versus 1. Still, it's not an easy fight. I was able to surprise attack it and able to make it fall prone, so many of my fighters could hit it directly. Finally, I was level 5. And it's not the extra attack, the huge power spike. What? It was to finally get the Dark Amethyst, to be able to read this dangerous book. By turning me into a wizard with a lot of wisdom and use Shadowheart to help me, I passed all saving throws and finally got one of the best companions in the game, Shovel.
You serious?
Yep. By talking to her with certain dialogue after reading the book, you can summon her permanently. But why she so strong? She barely has health and her damage is quite small. But she has this ability, invisibility. And she can use it unlimited times. Now, if you attack an enemy while being invisible, it will get surprised. So, it would always skip one turn. And by having characters with good initiative, you can hit your enemies 2 times before they can do anything about it. That's more than enough to destroy many encounters in Act 1 and even in Act 2. I finally went and killed the owlbear, which in hindsight I should have killed the owlbears much earlier, but I didn't know how much difficult it was going to be in honor mode. And it was much easier than I thought. And it's even better when you have 2 more allies to be the mid shields. Now that I have my level 5 and my huge power spike, I decided to finish everything I could in the Goblin camp. From small interactions, the fate of the owl cub, and getting rid of a lot of goblins.
Yeah, boy.
I don't want the whole goblin camp to attack me, so I was taking care of them one by one or in small groups. I even knocked Mintara unconscious, just for later. Although I got a small jump scare where one scrying eye found me, so I had to do a lot of strategy to kill it before it called reinforcements. At that time I didn't know that the eye takes 2 turns to call reinforcements, so I was completely safe with enough time to destroy it. Moving on, I went to the chamber of Dror Raskling, the last leader of the Goblin camp, and with the help of a fireball and barrelmancy, he was also killed very easily. With that out of the way, I completed Mole's quest by stealing the druid statue, and I got her special ring, and celebrated that night in the camp. But the job is not over. It's time to no Russian the full Goblin camp. Remember, no Goblin. So now that I have level 5 and my huge power spike, I finally felt a little confident to go to the Underdark. Getting here is dangerous, since bad positioning can instantly kill your characters because of the amount of clips and strong enemies. That's why I decided to make a list of everything I'll be doing in the Underdark, and making sure to follow those steps in a certain order. Let me tell you the steps I took, and let's do it fast, because the list has a lot of steps. I killed Bullet by using Barrelmancy. It was quite easy as it always comes out in certain places that you can anticipate. Then go and talk to the invisible Dwergard, so it's now visible and I can surprise attack him later. Then we get Glucked and kill the hook horrors around the waypoint. This unlocks the fast travel and I collect many important items, like one part of the ice staff, the material for the special weapon, and the flower that nullifies magic. Kill all the Dwergards with the help of Sunlight, Glut, and the Hook Horror. Replace the Hook Horror with a Minotaur. Use the Minotaur to destroy the statues near the Spectator. Did you know that the Spectator won't show up if it's a pet or a summon that's the one that is attacking the statues. Finally face the spectator and use the Minotaur to take the aggro. When the spectator is dead, collect items and go to the Arcane Tower. From here, we go to the Arcane Tower and make sure to bring many Susur Blooms to the top and face Bernard. Use the flowers to deactivate the constructs, then make one strong character drink an elixir of heal giant potion so he can carry the constructs to the side and shove them to their doom. Once Bernard is alone, you can engage him or try to also throw him out of the tower. Since it's now a 4 versus 1, winning is much easier. Now that I got all the important items I wanted from the Underdark, I finally go back to the Blighted Village to force the Masterwork weapon. Halfway through the Underdark, Lae'zel confesses to me? I thought this wouldn't happen anymore.
I want to taste you. Perhaps one night soon, I will come to your bunk and take what is mine. Until that night comes, I shall keep enjoying your scent.
And I think it's fitting. A strong green girlfriend Githyanki for the strong green half-orc that is me. And even that night we have some fun. Let's continue with the adventure. I went back to the Myconic colony to get buffed with the Bliss spores. Then get to the boat to travel to the Greenforge. I skipped the fight of more Dwergars by just talking to them, and finally arrived at the Greenforge. I wanted to come here quickly so I can take advantage of the Bliss spores with all the dialogue and small fights I'll be doing. First the spiders, then 2 Dwergars, then these weird enemies hiding in this room. All of this was prepped for the fight of the hag Auntie Ethel. I really wanted to get her reward, so I prepared the characters I was bringing to the battle, which was Astarion as a Beastmaster, Lae'zel as a monk, and Karlach as a fighter. My strategy was to have as many characters and moves to get rid of all the clones, and use the Masterwork weapons to silence her so she won't be able to cast spells. This worked better than I expected, but it also caused me to fail to get what I wanted. Turns out if she is silenced, she won't talk to you to stop the fight, and she might get bugged. I didn't want to risk too much, so I ended up killing her. Fun fact, this is the first time I killed her and got her reward, which is not that good. Really need to aim to get her special hair reward. Either way, I went back to the Greenforge and convinced some Dwergars to get on my side in the fight against Nier. I just get rid of another of this Eye of the Absolute, and I also help these weird animals, and they help me. I also got these 2 powerful explosives from this girl. These are going to be very important in the future. We summon Omelum to do his small quest to get some XP and a new ability, and finally free Nier to be able to kill him. The fight is much easier when you have some Dwergars as allies, and you don't have to fight everyone around you. Once everything was done, I went back to the Myconic colony to kill the leader and make Lut the new boss. But this broke my oath, so now I was an oath breaker, temporarily. Oh, and something we gotta plan from the early game is to be a good friend of Shadowheart, or be in a romance with her. I keep doing more quests and give Shadowheart a mushroom to remember her past. This gave me more trust from her. Everything is according to plan. I stopped a fight between Lae'zel and Shadowheart at the night, and finally recovered my oath. I won't do this again. It costs 1,000 coins to cover it. By the way, this might be a good moment to explain these 3 guys right here. They are Fuzz, Lightheart, and Chilai. Fuzz is a wizard designed to give me some buffs to my characters and make some elixirs and potions. Lightheart is a cleric designed to heal and protect us with spells from the camp. And finally, Chilai, she is a wildcard, and is going to be changing class depending on the situation. Time to face the final enemies in the Greenforge, these magma mephits that always surprise you, so be ready with Karlach to be the mid shield since she has resistance to fire. Then we arrive at the Adamantine Forge. a place that we cannot skip because of the armors you can get from it. So finally, the hardest boss in Act 1, the Grim. A boss that has 450 health, it's invulnerable if it's not superheated, and his only weakness is bludgeoning damage. We all prepared and we are ready to face this powerful boss with speed potions, war hammers, and a strength monk to be able to... Wait, what's that? Look up, it's a bird? It's a plane? It's an Yeah, I wasn't going to risk it, so I used the thick cheeks of Chile as a weapon of ass destruction. Hey, I have never used the Alver from the top rope, and I learned some neat things about it. For example, I think it scales more because of the distance you jump, and not from the height. Having a small character doesn't matter to do more or less damage when you are transformed, and it's better to do all the buffs, preparation, and the jump from here and not here. From this, I only took care of some easy loose ends, and Act 1 in Honor Mode was finally done. Time to continue to Act 2. I'll see you later, and thanks for watching.